Jesus, Lord have mercy.
Yeah, Lord should have mercy, just not on me, on you.
So hold on. So again, right? So Rico.
Uh-huh.
Clearly, we're getting two different sources here. We have two different sources here, and what you are putting in must be something completely different.
Well, let's find out if that's true. What do you think the goal of intersectionality is?
There is no goal of intersectionality.
Oh, there's no goal.
It's
okay.
just
Why don't you
recognizing.
Then Google this goal of intersectionality and tell me what it says.
Why do you have to look up? You have to look up goal of intersectionality in order for it to say equity for you.
It's going to say equity.
Do you know how? In order for it to say equity for you, to fit your definition.
No, it's just that's what intersectionality is for. It's for the purposes of equity. Otherwise, there would be no reason for the analysis in the first place.
Okay, so here, let's see here. Goal of intersectionality: to understand how how different aspects of a person's identity, like race, gender, and class, combine to create equal experiences of discrimination and
equity.
privilege. You keep adding equity into that.
It is.
And it's not
about
equity.
Bro, it's about equity. What do you think it's about? What do you think you're using the analysis for?
Oh my God.
You're using the analysis to make judgments about unequal or unequitable situations between different groups.
So hold on. So let me get this right.
Yeah.
Do you have a problem with equity?
Yes.
Why do you have a problem with equity?
Because equity is fundamentally Marxist in its analysis.
I need a drink. I'll be right back. Lord have mercy.
Go get a drink. You're going to need one for this breakdown.
Whoa. Okay.
Get a big drink.
We're going to be here a while.
We sure are.
We gonna be here a while. Mm-hmm. We are going to be here a while.
We're going to be here a while.
Have mercy. Okay. Alrighty. Equity is Marxism now. Okay. Anywho's.
Well, it's a Marxist analysis, yes. Well, you have to understand, so that you understand, everything is set in the prism of worldviews for analysis. Marxism is a worldview analysis, which is saying that the proletariat is being oppressed by the bourgeoisie, and that the entire purpose of Marxism is to utilize a specific analysis in order to prevent the proletariat from being oppressed by the bourgeoisie. That's the point of the analysis. The point of the analysis of intersectionality is they're the oppressive overlords, like the rich or the people in charge. That's what the Marxists consider the bourgeoisie. Yeah. So anyway, that's an analysis, the Marxist theory analysis. Now, that's a simplified version, but that's essentially what it is. Intersectionality is an analysis worldview which is trying to figure out what are the social distinctions between breakdown by class, gender, race, sex, all of that, and how do we adjust so that we have equity between them. That's the whole point of the analysis. Otherwise, it's useless.
So you don't want to adjust for it to have equity between them?
Well, when we're talking about equity specifically, I think that it picks for favorites. Like
picks favorites?
Yes. Yep. So if it's the case that you run an analysis, for instance, and you feel that there's not enough equity between, I don't know, let's say weaker men and stronger men, there's not enough equity, then what would happen under the idea of intersectionality is that you would pass laws or try to make social changes and adjust social changes so that these weaker men now could stand up on a higher box so that they're at an equal level with the stronger men using some type of like legislative process. In fact, the entire theory is usually broken down by saying the difference between equality and equity is that you're looking over a fence, and what equity does, it puts a box down so that you can see over the fence just like the tall guy next to you. That's the whole point of the breakdown, is to say there needs to be an adjustment made socially so that these people have additional opportunities that they don't believe are afforded to them based on the fact that, you know, there's sex or race or, you know, whatever distinction there is.
And you have a problem with that?
Yes, of course I have a problem with that. I believe in merit-based systems. I believe in merit-based systems, yes. I think that the best person should get the job based on their best merits.
But that's not the analogy you gave. You gave the strong guy at the fence and the weak guy getting a one-up.
Yeah, so I think the strong guy at the fence, right, I don't think that he should have to be making adjustments for the weak guy to look over the fence because the weak guy can't look over the fence.
Nobody said.
Yes, they do.
Nobody is forcing the strong guy to make adjustments.
Yes,
for the
they
weak
are.
Guy to be on
Yes,
the fence.
they are.
No, they aren't.
Yes, they are. That's the whole problem. And I'll give you an example of
That's
this.
not.
Do you want an
problem.
example?
Whoa.
An example would be take police departments, for instance, which lower standards for women, and the military, which lowers standards for women. Meaning women have lower standards when it comes to training regiments than the men do for the same exact job.
Were you in the military?
That is equity.
Were you in the military?
Briefly, yes.
So for the brief time you were in the military or the police force, you're telling me that they intentionally lowered standards for women?
Yes.
What standards was that?
Oh, well, you can look them up right now. The PT training standards for women is different. Them graduating from various MOS schools, which those are completely different. They have different standards there. Same thing for the police department. They have different standards there as well.
And you said briefly. How brief are we talking here?
I don't know, about a year. We were talking about like 20 years ago. I think about a year.
You served in the military for just a year.
Yeah.
Talking about standards are being lowered for women.
Yeah, that's true.
So why did you leave?
I got a medical discharge.
You were medically discharged. Mm-hmm. So you were the weak one at that point.
What would that have to do with anything?
I mean, you just sat here. And
so you're saying that I couldn't meet the standards. So yeah, that's how that works. Yeah.
Right, and so the women are clearly.
So nobody lowered the standard. Did anybody lower the standards for me? No. You see how that works?
You were discharged, so clearly you couldn't serve anymore, though.
And they weren't going to lower the standards for me, right?
After a year.
And they weren't going to lower the standards for me?
What happened to you?
All right, were they going to lower the standards for me or not?
Depending on what.
No, they're not going to lower the standards for me, dude. Who cares what happened to me? It's irrelevant.
I mean, it kind of.
It doesn't matter at all. It literally doesn't matter at all. The standards were not lowered to accommodate me, sir.
You quite literally just sat here and complained about the weak and the strong, or the weak getting a heads up and the strong had to make accommodations and shit. And then
who made accommodations for me?
1 year.
Yeah, who made accommodations for me?
After you served 1 year.
Yeah.
After you served 1 year.
Yeah.
You were considered weak. So wouldn't you agree with that?
Yes.
So you agree that you were too weak to serve anymore?
Yeah, I agree that I did not meet the medical standard necessary to serve in the United States military. Yes, of course.
Right. So then what the f*** you care if women are still in the military?
I'm not saying anything about women being in the military. I'm saying the standards are lowered for women to be in the military.
But what does it matter if you're still not serving anymore? Why the fuck do you
because
care?
They still serve me. What do you mean?
And they still serving you. Like, what the f***? Like,
bro,
dude,
do you think
you ain't got shit to worry about anymore?
Do you think that lowering the standards for police officers, for instance, that lowering the standards for them, for female police officers to have the same beat job as male police officers, is doing society better favors or worse favors?
Beat jobs.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know the process of the police academy or basic training.
Why don't you just look up the standards different? Why don't you just look up the standard difference between women and men when it comes to physical fitness in the police department? You can see that it's lower for women, even though they're supposed to do the same job of apprehending suspects. That's why they get disarmed so frequently and beat down by suspects so frequently, because the standards are lowered for them, and that's why the analysis is a weak analysis and why I don't believe in equity.
But that has nothing to do with intersectionality.
Yes, it does. Right? The whole reason they began lowered. What analysis did they use to determine that they needed to lower the standards for women, sir?
I don't fucking know.
Intersectionality. They used intersectionality.
That's not how that works.
It is how that works. It's exactly how it works. Yes, it is.
It's not.
It is.
It's not.
Okay, how does it not work that way?
It's not, dude.
Then what standard did they use?
I literally just explained to you. It's simply just identifying the overlapping identities of an individual or an entire group.
For what purpose?
All it is.
For what purpose?
What do you mean for? It literally says to recognize the difference of discrimination and
Yeah,
privilege.
okay, now it's
That's
been recognized.
That's
What,
not
now that it's recognized, is there something you want to do about it, or are you just trying to recognize stuff, bro?
What do you mean? What if there's something you want to do about it?
Yeah, is there something you want to do about it?
Intersectionality does.
Is do something about that, right? You're
Wait,
identifying.
time out.
You're
Is
using this
time out.
analysis.
Is this going into DEI? Wait, is this going into DEI?
Did I say a word about DEI?
Or no, because you're the one sitting here talking about equity.
I didn't say a word about DEI. Don't pivot. You're right here.
I'm not pivoting.
So here's the
You brought up
question.
equity.
I brought up equity, and what was the example I gave?
But again,
what was the example I gave?
The example you gave quite literally would have to do with DEI.
No, well,
would it not?
The example,
diversity, equity, and inclusion.
No, the example,
your whole hold on, your whole spitball.
Yeah, the example that I gave here is about whether or not you want to lower the standards.
Rico, your whole spitball here was that the strongest man has to accommodate for the weak one to have a higher chance, and the women they're lowering the standards for women are being lowered, and it's staying the same for men. That sounds like you trying to bring up DEI.
Well, but I didn't bring up DEI. I brought up a problem.
You didn't have to, but
with
that's
the
what
analysis.
It sounds like. If I'm trying to understand here,
I brought up the problem with the analysis of intersectionality and why it is I don't believe in equity. And the reason I don't believe in
it's literally just an analysis. That's literally all it is.
Here's the thing: what is the analysis being used for?
What do you mean? What the analysis is being used for? That's all it's being like. That's
what's your hat? What's your hat on your head being used for?
My hat on my head?
Yes, what's it being used for?
To show my school? I'm confused.
Okay, so it has some use, otherwise you wouldn't have the hat, I assume?
To show off my school. I like
Great.
to show off.
So there's some use for it. So what is the use of intersectionality? What are we using it for, sir?
Dude,
what's its purpose? What's its purpose?
So again, right? Again, the whole point of this, of you saying that this is essentially equity, you're complaining about something that doesn't even apply to you anymore, right?
This has nothing to do with anything.
You literally.
So what? So what? Who cares if I served one day? That has no bearing on the argument. None. Zero. Zilch. Can you tell me, sir?
Oh, shit.
Can you tell me about the analysis? No, you're fine. I can hear you fine.
Oh, my phone just died.
No, his phone didn't die. How are you going to say, my phone just died, and we can clearly see your phone didn't die? Got rocked, bro.